All right, we're back here. We should have Adam DiMichele on the hotline right now. AD, Zach, and Chase here in Philly. Thanks for a few minutes. How are you?
I'm doing really well, guys. Just got off the field, and sorry I missed you last week, but I'm glad I'm on and ready to talk a little bit of ball.
No problem about that. And this was a team that started off 4-1, and now they're at 4-3 after two tough losses on the road. As you guys lost in Houston and you lost in UCF this past weekend. What's the feel in practice as this team tries to get back on their winning tracks with the best team in the conference and ECU coming to town?
Well, we know that playing in this conference, you're going to play a team that's you're going to play a solid team every week. So again, you see Houston, you see UCF, two proven commodities in this league. Two teams that we really just didn't come out and play our best ball against. They didn't compete the way that we as the coaching staff and as a university and as a team want to compete. And then now you have ECU coming in, who again is playing some really good football. They're really stout on defense. Obviously, they put some good numbers up on offense, but we're as confident as ever. Again, there's really no pressure on us. We're going to go out there and play tempo football. We're going to try to outcompete those guys. Hit them around a little bit. And again, we got to outplay their players. And if we outwork them and outcompete them, I think good things can happen.
I take a look at the offense right now, and they're in a little bit of a funk. The offensive line, I know they lost Deion Dawkins last week, but he should be good to go, hopefully, for this weekend as he's recovering from that high ankle sprain. P.J. Walker has thrown some interceptions and fumbled the football in the red zone, and it looks like the offense is in a little bit of trouble right now, but that's your guys' job to get it back on track. You played quarterback here at Temple University, and now you coach the wide receivers. How does P.J. Walker bounce back as a quarterback? Because I'm sure there was times in your college career where you had a bad game and then you had to bounce back.
I had way too many bad games. I'll tell you that much. But PJ is a kid that, again, like I'm sure I mentioned to a few different people last year when I first got here and got around him. He's one of the most competitive kids that I know. And if anyone's taking it hard, it's him. And again, this is a position where everybody's looking at you to make the play. Everyone is looking at you to lead the team. And when you're struggling and when you're not making the plays that you usually make, you tend to press. So I'm not saying that he pressed or if he is pressing, but I think he had a really strong week of practice this week. And again, his confidence is, I was just meeting with him and the receivers. We met a little bit last night, and, he's focused and ready to rock and roll. So again, as an offense and as a staff, and again, me playing former quarterback, you have to just, play the play one play at a time. If something does go wrong, which at times it will, you have to just, forget that play and move on to the next one. I know it's easier said than done. PJ's young. We do have a young offense, but, it's time to, I don't want to say put up or shut up, but it's time to, go out there and handle business. And like I said, take one play at a time and continually compete. I think that we get back to just, competing and kind of having that little, relentlessness to us. I think we should be okay on offense.
Adam DiMichele joins us right now. And Adam, you talk about PJ pressing a little bit, but are there any other issues maybe with his footwork, mechanics? Is he struggling going through his progressions? Because the developmental process for a quarterback is just such a challenge, and a lot of people don't realize how tough it is to develop as a quarterback.
Oh, it's extremely difficult. As you can see, I mean, you have rookies in the NFL that are starting now that have no idea what they're doing when you watch them on tape, and then you have young guys in college that they're putting up numbers, but at the end of the day, they're going through one read and just throwing to this guy. But again, with PJ, Coach Satterfield is doing a phenomenal job. Again, I'm in there and I see everything that he's being taught and everything that he does during practice. And again, it just has to carry over into the game. I don't think there's anything that's holding him back. I don't think necessarily that he is pressing. Again, when you're struggling on offense as a group, as a whole, because if you really look at it, if the quarterback struggles, you think he's struggling. We're struggling in wide receiver trying to get open.
Mm-hmm.
We're struggling running the ball. So it's not just something about P.J. Walker and his struggles right now. As a group, as a collective group, we're not getting open. We're not making plays for him in my position. And whether we're not, the tight ends aren't doing this, the running backs aren't doing that. We have to really pick him up. When I struggled, we had guys that would help me and pick me up. So that's kind of what we're looking for. It's an offensive, team kind of thing for us. We need to get back on track.
Adam, Jalen Fitzpatrick has had a wonderful year. He had a stretch where he scored a touchdown in 5 consecutive games. The last 2 games he struggled a bit, but I think teams are definitely keying in on him more. When you look at the film, are defenses paying closer attention to Jalen Fitzpatrick in the last couple of games after he did have a breakout start to the season?
Yeah, I think that if you look back at it, Jalen's been playing since he was a freshman, and even whenever I wasn't here, I would watch games and I'd hear Jalen Fitzpatrick this, Jalen Fitzpatrick that. And when I finally got here and worked with him a little bit last year, and then I'm finally coaching him now, you see his work ethic and you see the time that he puts in, and the thing that he does with my group, and you'd be dumb. You'd be dumb if you're another team and not trying to focus on someone like him, who, like you said, scored 5 straight games and has it in 2 games. But his work ethic hasn't changed. He's still putting in the same amount of work. And again, we're going to try to give him the ball. When you got a guy that's electric, and you got a guy that can play a number of different positions, we're going to try to get him the ball as much as possible. And if teams do key on him, then we're going to have to figure it out and get other guys the ball and do some things offensively, to try to take the pressure off of Jalen and him making plays. So, yeah, I think that teams are definitely keen on him a little more. But, again, if this is our best guy right now, and we're going to try to get him the ball as much as we can.
There's so many intricacies that kind of go into a wide receiver being successful. Route running, recognizing a defense, finding soft spots in coverage. And for 2 of your guys, Nate Hairston and Brandon Shippen, as early as spring camp, they were practicing as defensive backs. Now they're at wide receiver. And I know Nate got a little bit of experience at the wide receiver spot last year, but what has been the challenge in coaching them up to becoming a good wide receiver on this team?
Well, I see with those 2 guys, they're very competitive kids. And again, when I first got the job, I told my guys I wanted them to be as competitive as I was, and I wanted them to understand exactly where they needed to be and why they needed to be there. And that's when they come over from the defensive side of the ball, that's kind of what I try to stress. I think for one, Brandon Shippen's done a phenomenal job at that. You watch the kid; he plays on every special teams, and then he comes out and he's our starting receiver. And again, he's making as many plays as we give him the opportunity to make, and it's good to see. It really is, because when he was playing defense and, he was switching back and forth, didn't really have a home. And I think he's found a home with us. And then you have Nate, who's, played some last year and played a little bit more this year. They're 2 guys that I think really want to be, they really want to do good for the team. They really want to do well. And they've been impressive to me. And I'm just looking forward to seeing them continue their growth and take that next step, whether it's in preparation, whether it's them catching more balls after practice, whether it's them getting with the quarterbacks and trying to understand coverage and what they're doing, what they're looking at, and where they're going to throw the ball during certain coverages and plays. That might be the next step for those guys. But again, I've been really happy with with how Brandon and Nate have been coming along, and they have to continue the progression throughout these next 5 games, and hopefully into the off season as well.
Zach Gelb and Chase Sr. here with you, WHIP Radio in Philadelphia, talking to the wide receiver coach at Temple University, Adam DiMichele, on the Temple University Football Coaches Show, powered by Peerless Boilers. Peerless builds America's best boilers. Temple sets to face ECU this Saturday. You can hear the game on WHIP. Coverage starts at 11:30. And Adam, a lot of fans that we interact with, whether it's on Twitter, through this radio show, or through our television show on Tuesday, a lot of them want to see more of a vertical passing game. Keith Kirkwood has been a nice little addition to this offense. How can he help in assisting that vertical passing game?
Well, I think you saw a little bit of what he did in Houston, right? I mean, you saw the touchdown he had against Houston, which was something that we saw, in things that he did last year while he was in Hawaii. And that's a kid that, if you tell Keith, hey, I need you to run this route at this step, and do it running backwards and spinning around at the same time, he's going to go do exactly what you tell him to do. Now, how could you not want to coach a kid like that? But again, in regards to the vertical pass game, who wouldn't want to throw the ball down the field? There's certain times you're able to do that, and there's certain times where defenses don't allow you to do that. So again, as much as we want to throw the ball downfield, there's just certain times where we can't, certain times we don't feel it's right. Whether it's this coverage is taking it away, or whether it's, hey, we're just not feeling comfortable with this guy doing it, or whatever it is. But throwing the ball down the field is a thing where we're going to need to take some chances, I believe, and we're going to do some different things this week, and hopefully create some big plays on offense. So again, Keith's been great. You got some big guys that can running down the field as a quarterback. Gives you a little more comfort back there, and even probably as a play call, even though I don't have any idea on how to call a play, I'll say that much. But it can give you a little more help knowing that you got a big guy running on the field, being able to catch the pass.
Ever since Matt took over the job here at Temple, he really stressed the importance of, on offense, to have diversity. And when you line up at the line of scrimmage, they don't know what's going to happen, whether it's a run, a trick play, a long pass deep downfield. And when you go out and you get behind in a game 17-0, you're kind of forced to throw the football to get back into this game. I would imagine a big part of emphasis this week in practice had to be getting off to a fast start, and then once you get into the red zone, getting 7 and not walking away with 3 or a failed 4th down conversion attempt.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, if you look back at our games, we need to come out and actually have a little more intensity as a team. We need to come out and get a big play on offense or get a few first downs and change the field position for the defense. As you guys know, we put the defense on the field a little too much last week, and it hurt them in the long run. So we need to make sure that we do our part offensively. We need to get first downs. We need to be a little bit better on first down, and then obviously got to convert on 3rd down. And then when we do get inside the red zone, like you just mentioned, I mean, you said it perfectly. We need to get 7 instead of 3. Again, the emphasis that we're putting on this week, is really similar to what you were talking about. And we have a few different things, that we talk about in here that we need to do and get better at as well. So obviously, there's a lot of stuff that we need to get better at. And I think we had a good week so far. We just got to continue rolling with that, continue preparing through the process.
I understand the grind of coaching. I've been at a lot of your practices, those 5 a.m.s in the offseason, and you guys are constantly recruiting, and it takes a diligent person to be a coach or a wide receiver coach here at Temple University or on any level of football. But you have such a compelling story since you played here at Temple, and now you're back coaching, and you've had that relationship with Matt ever since your playing days. Do you ever just have a moment to take a seat back and just realize how special this is to come back to Temple and now be involved with the place that you played in?
I think I have maybe 1 or 2 of those moments, since I've gotten the job. And, I've thanked so many people, and I thank Matt, and I thank, God, I thank my family. I thank everyone I could possibly thank. But then after that, it's like, boy, I got to get to work. Oh, man, I mean, this coach here is outworking me, and I got to make sure my guys are prepared. I want my alma mater to win. I need to go recruit. I mean, there's just so much on your plate every single day. And being my alma mater just, makes it 100 times, more sweet for me that I'm here. And again, I'm sitting in my office now, and I got a picture of Bruce Francis, who is my wide receiver, sitting up in front of me in my office. And man, I got to make sure that my guys played as hard as he did, and my guys played as hard as Rod Streeter and Mike Campbell. And again, it's honestly a dream come true. Like I know I've said that before, it really is. Being able to coach under the guy that coached me and the guy that was my father figure while I was at Temple. I mean, couldn't ask for anything better. And I'm just trying to. Again, I mean, it's not easy coming from a player to becoming a coach because, I mean, it's hard to even explain. But I'm doing the things that Coach Sad has asked of me, and Coach Foley and Coach Foreman have been great. Everyone's been great trying to help ease me into this process and lead me down the right path. So again, being at my alma mater just makes it that much more sweet for me.
Adam, last one for me, and kind of working off that. I mean, you had a great career here at Temple. You had brief stints with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia Soul. When did it kind of hit you that you wanted to get into coaching?
You know what? Funny, because when I was a player, Matt was like, when I get a job one day, you're gonna come coach for me. This is when I was a player. I'm like, coaching? I don't want to coach. I want to play. And even now, I'm like, I want to play. I mean, it's just a competitor in me. But probably when I left the Soul, that's the year after I played with the Soul, I was like, I don't know if it's arena games for me. I could try maybe one more time to go play in the CFL. And, I thought, and then Matt got the job, and it was just, he offered me to come GA, and it was like a perfect storm for me. And, I was coaching a little bit of high school ball. I was coaching one of our players here, Lenny Williams. And I was like, wow, man, this is, it's pretty cool. Trying to give back because so many people gave to me while I was at Temple. So many people helped aid me throughout this whole process when I was a player. And it's like, why can't I, now that I'm blessed to have this job now, I can give back to, players that I'm coaching now and let them know that, hey, Coach Rule did this for me. I'm going to do the same for you. And I'm going to do the same for these. We just don't want them for 4 years. We want them to be here, Temple out forever. So, again, I'm blessed. I'm so happy to be here, and I just want to continue to grind my guys out and, help us get some more victories.
Should be a fun one this Saturday, ECU and Temple, and I know the weather's going to be a little bit bad, but hey, that's football. We all love playing in the rain and all that great stuff. But AD, we appreciate a few minutes today. Thanks so much. We'll see you Saturday, and best of luck.
No doubt about it, guys. You guys have a good one. Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right,
Adam.
you too. Adam DiMichele right there on the Temple University Football Coaches Show, powered by the fine folks at Peerless Boilers. Peerless builds America's best boilers. Okay, we'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back right after these short messages.